This song is dedicated to Maurice de Sutter. The motto is, well, it can't hurt. The interpretation is, Morris is pretty old by doctor's standards. Actually, he's pretty old by anybody's standards, and he's reached a kind of perfection. I mean, the success of his life as a farmer and the success of his family and their gentleness and generosity has created around him a kind of heaven. It's obvious when you're with him that he's in heaven. So he really has only one problem left. Transition between this heaven on earth to whatever the structure of the next one will be. The moment, in other words. And if I could presume to describe the largeness of his spirit in the contemplation of that moment, I always imagined him saying, well, it can't hurt. These are songs about the Corn Belt and some of the people in it, or on it. This shot is called Remembering the Enormous Field, the fence, and we are on the inside looking out, moving left. It takes all day. The move is too smooth. Maybe we are dreaming. Move along the edge, contained, caged, nostalgic. We are remembering. A fence is like a mirror. It depresses the cows. It makes us remember. Looking out, look up and down, looking for something interesting. Now turn left, still on the inside. Still looking for something interesting. Now turn left, the fence is still there. Keep looking for something interesting. Now turn left again. Still looking. We are looking for food. Time to go. Friendly shoe, friendly soul. It's different being old alone and being old together. For instance, when you're old alone, it's hard to remember that you're old or that you're alone.
Remembering is a problem.
Each and every thought has a future, but the past is always slipping away. Remove but with. He thinks of himself as taking part in the dawn of civilization. So much is expected of him. For instance, he thinks verbatim, our work with our bodies is to move rocks. Our work with our minds is to dignify eating. Museums are a good example. In her, what can be seen clearly, like a slogan. She wonders, for instance, whether it's her way to make a new thing or to rearrange the old things. She's fond of truth. That's always a problem. Every other weekend, they take rooms adjoining. They regret the rooms. They want something more, but how to find it? Remove but. Style is important after all. Say what you will about it, for instance. Who wants to return disembodied, stuck in the library?
We do.
That's part of the problem. But style is right up there. For instance, they are more dissimilar now than when they met. In the old days, they were lookalikes. It added something. Now, they turn to differences to talk about. That's a danger to society, I would say. Then I'd say something like, what the heck? And finally, I'd just be indifferent. Remove the but in, but the style is right up there. Remove the and in, and finally, I'd just be indifferent. That should clear it up. Welcome home, dressed in red, told and told. He gets attached to ideas. A certain arrangement of words, like a certain arrangement of the furniture, can be good enough to suggest happiness in a way. She is more likely to be attached to the furniture itself. When they lie in bed, he is longer than she, but when they stand, he's not tall. remove but. More than cheese, something the poet says we seem too above too many times. Together they regret more than anything, more than the rooms we have mentioned, more than the chances they missed individually, their own embarrassment at the pauses they catch themselves in, falling apart together. Not one should judge herself, himself, whatever, seems cruel.
Let's say it is cruel.
Maybe regret is not the word, maybe resent is the word. They, a pair of them, resent someone who doesn't recognize that they are being cruel to themselves and insists upon it. At the moment, the person they have in mind is the supermarket manager. More than anyone, they notice, he counts up cruelty among the oldsters to keep things in order. There's something about the honor system and the mirrors and the spies and the finality of the checkout that keeps the oldsters subjugated definitely. Cruelty to oneself is a hard flaw to confide. I'm cruel to myself. Is it possible to tell from looking in the mirror that you are, for instance, stupid?
Food raids on the rise.
Supermarket managers counted on in the emergency. Do they think it grows on trees? If this keeps up,
etc., etc.
Compared to cattle in India by well-known scientists himself, one recalls pre-war problems with food supply. Now they are everywhere, International Congress told. The old one. Raising, at ease, proper fold, extra teeth in a bowl. They would like to marry. They think of it politically.
What a word.
Why marry? Neither of them has an estate to speak of. He owns 4 pairs of socks, 2 of which he wears in confusion. All 4 of these 2 pair are in the gray range. There is another pair of a lighter color that he dislikes. Finally, there is a pair in black for special times that he's wearing now to go into shoes and pants, to say nothing of shirts and coats. It's just more of the same, and she's no better off. A little more defiant, maybe.
It's not clear at all.
But why do they keep on facing backwards, looking at the state? The state has made him stop short in mid-sentence. Think it over. The state has given him the embarrassment. The pauses are provided by the state, not exactly gratis. It could be different, she thinks. There could be, for him, for instance, robes of honor, robes of our tribe, priceless things outside the mind. Not emblems, real things, from father to son, from father to son. If this is sunset, the sky could be on fire. It could be ceremonial. Instead, it's gray and he's stuck again, paused, facing the choice of succotash, thinking it over. Those are her thoughts. His are different, naturally, either because the socks are his, not hers, or because of the succotash, how close he is to it, or because of her failing eyesight, or because of God.
Who knows who gives a shit?
And to top it all off, that was 10 minutes ago. She backed into the soup when he thought about the succotash. Now they are in the aisle between canned fish, rice, and the cat food. Difference? A decimal point of rat hairs and other things. Also cans for us are harder to open. We protect ourselves against all possibilities. Never know. Tuna fish, casserole. Maybe this is a good place to think about horizons.
Looking up.
Remember that in the west where the sky is, or appears to be, a thin, almost transparent cap upon it. The
dome of heaven, the poet says.
There was a fashion in supermarkets a few years back, chest-high shelves. Nothing in those stores blocked the view. If you were of an age and not otherwise different, you could be standing in the choice of baked beans, or in the choice of cleansers, or in the choice of pet accessories, or in the choice of pickles, or in the choice of sundry drugs, or in the choice of wines, or in the choice of breads, or in the choice of plants, or fruits, or auto parts, or meat, whatever, and see it all directions. I've been in one almost as vast as its own parking lot, all vista, pure vista, to the wall, to wall blue. The illusion blue of the fluorescence, alternating light and dark, a kind of miniature cosmos, pulsing, throbbing, vital, filled with music, almost unimaginable, now that I think of it, a kind of small Versailles, made of food for us and the cats and dogs, and what we need to clean up after food and other stuff. I understood that one could live completely in that space, that could be one's only vista. that all the problems one could need were there. For instance, it embodied the struggle. In this case, the test of strength between the bad guy bankers in the East and the good guys out West. It was clear that they were different one from another. The brotherhood and that we were saved. Cows and small planes against horses and yachts. Those were the good old days, the air was pure. The bankers dressed like cowboys. The planes rolled westward. The cowboys, the real ones, used the ground with their bodies to sleep. They were sullen and some spoke Spanish in a way the poet spoke of.
Oh well.
Couldn't last. The contradiction of the ground plane, all perspective, and the head plane, free in all directions, was the contradiction of the bankers and the idea of banking. Chalk went up for Easterners. Yachts leave 1-0. Whether you buy more under high horizons is trivial compared to this. Society was at stake. Our destiny was contradicted in all that freedom. Perspective is a picture of the way
All
it
that
should
freedom.
be. The straight and narrow. Shoot, it's useless. We move rocks. There's still the dignity of food. Nice thought, Jack. Way beyond, looking down from the hole. Taking it up from there, she noticed that as it goes away from her, it gets smaller only if you let it, and that some people are cynical about this. For instance, in a situation where an illusion of, say, death is imploded.
Falling into.
Often a false back that comes away leads to another hole slightly smaller, as in a Boy Scout cup.
That's supposed to be funny.
It's not suggested, is it? This falling into is an exception.
How could that be funny?
What is hidden from our view by the surface of the world is indeed infinite, or, for instance, the view of the Mojave from the deck chair in the shade next to the swimming pool in Palm Springs.
Now you're talking.
It's getting hard to read those books. I thought it was my eyes, then I realized it's my mind. I don't like things that can't be eaten. I don't like, for instance, rocks. Vegetables are okay. Fruit is intended for those in charge. They like fruit. I think it agrees with them. Stands there nodding, smiling, confident, slightly troubled, an aura of slightly troubled, something of grave concern. A huge, huge mistake has been made.
Think of it as a matter of water.
The desert is a cocktail of the earth, if you know what I mean. The cities are the vegetables. The mountains are the fruit. I'm always surprised, aren't you, about how distant the mountains are in every way. They seem owned, and the oceans are the need. Right now we're having problems with the picture. We see two gray lumps under the bridge in an old movie. Looks like she might have been a shoplifter once. Weight 112 pounds, dress size 18. She steals.
That explains it.
She's old and looks Irish. She wades in water, even in the supermarket. Here, she steals the light. She goes downhill fast. She never calls in sick overhead vultures circle.
The poet says like
berserk,
Greyhound buses
buses
at a
at a
distance.
It's a hard situation to be philosophical about, and he's no better.
Etc.
That's what you get for getting old. Just a little town in the Midwest, mixed farm country, and this is just your average supermarket. Pedal entrance and turn left. The problem with the picture is, as usual, the actor, or in this case, the actors, they want to be married. But if they marry, one of them will lose the privileges.
That's a
a
stately
statement.
sentence.
So they live as they live, and every other weekend take rooms adjoining and regret the rooms. That's the trouble with the picture. Optically, it's full of cherries. He used to eschew close-ups. Now he eschews them. He eschews close-ups for political reasons.
1,
Only the wide shot will accommodate the picture of the masses.
2,
The close-up is aggressive and looks for victims.
3,
Close-up precludes theorizing.
4,
Finance and perspective, without doubt, and one way of solving the problem of where the lines converge is to zoom in, as they say. Close-up is the equivalent of the credit check. The first thing to go in a money crisis is optics. He eschews close-ups for political reasons. Now that he is old, he eschews a bit too loose. But then I quote, "Personal existence in the world is not an immediate function of the higher conscious life." End quote. Inquiry is the key. Long pause. She has reached the end of her rope. He has reached down into the depths of himself. That's
One difference between
They want to know, as we all do, which way is up. They want to know whether the sheep is in store for us or behind us. An important question, I would say, whatever that means. They want to know if, having been as good as you could be here, one morning late into the night, struggling for breath, halfway out of sleep, dreaming wildly, all out of control, you should ease yourself into oblivion with an extra dose of, say, nasal spray. You can expect to make another round as an honor, say, to the Himalayas, a national treasure in the lowlands, a movie star, a man without a country, or will it be a sheep?
Long pause.
If not the sheep,
Long pause.
corporation and the bodies of the corporation, like the bodies of the family. Imagine, for instance, the moment of
long pause.
enlightenment with this supermarket. Imagine the feelings of this supermarket encountering itself for the first time in the mirror of consciousness. The supermarket recognizes its potential. It chooses its manifestation. It makes a mistake. It chooses the mirror. This supermarket is stupid. This supermarket wants itself in the form it finds itself. This supermarket has some problems. Imagine yourself, can of succotash in hand, part of the material body of the supermarket in the checkout line. You're about to be exhausted. Symbolic writing fills the skies. UFOs linked to weird animal mutilations, AJ share.
My strange relationship with Sunny, centerfold, how to make your life more meaningful. Page 52, how to make your marriage more exciting. Page 30.
More exciting, page 30. Indeed. How will the supermarket constitute its astral body, its illusion of itself, if you go home and eat the succotash, or in the car eat the can of succotash, break the law. Heave the empty on the highway.
Keep 'em bending over, it helps their spines.
Driving under the influence of succotash, he threw away the can, Your Honor, and kept driving with the contents in his stomach. One atom from the imitation of the astral body of the supermarket split part in your hand. And the other part, God knows where now.
Excuse me.
We can't even say these things with the children present, can we? Instance, knowing that somewhere near here, 100,000 beings are in prison, tortured.
Pause.
We name the reason, that's our problem. Next thing you know, the supermarket will want long pause. Fame. Next thing you know, the supermarket will have works. They will be sold or lost or given away, forever dispersed, never to be reconstituted dead. In effect, immortality for the supermarket, foreverness. One of the great supermarkets of the past.
Plugging the present.
For instance, she, I think, is a few years older than he. It isn't easily measured now. She knows. She thinks.
Long pause.
I've lost awareness of the feeling of his age, because I've been his age. Is that it? It's rare that she allows herself to think this way, but he must be aware of my age.
Remove but.
A future for him, for instance. How are you? Say hello. Take the role.
How are you? Say hello. Take the role. How are you? Say hello. Take the role.
Well, what is important to say? Two people are in the aisle between the seafood and the pet supply.
Cat food, huh?
They have one cart. It's hard to tell which direction they're taking. They're a long way from us in the picture. They're almost at the other end. On both sides of the picture, the shelves converge on them. They're arguing. They're not spring chickens. One is a man, the other is a woman. She is more agile than he. Also, she is more determined. But that's hard to be sure about. A
A wise use of but.
Now we zoom in slowly. As we approach, we come to know more and more about their situation. This is the effect, as they say, that allows us to address someone by their given name. For instance, what is important to us is that
This is not very interesting, I know.
they live in a home for old people. One of the requirements to live in the home is the requirement to have no immediate family by marriage. You can't have a husband or a wife. The other is no guns allowed. These two people met in the home.
How wonderful.
They fell in love. They want to marry. You can see what their problem is. Every other weekend they check out separately, which is allowed. They check into a motel in town. They take adjoining rooms. This has been going on for years. Everybody knows it.
This is not very interesting, I know.
We should be talking about something else. Or maybe they should be perverse.
Something.
One thing we do know is that no one is near them. No one wants oysters. No one wants cat food. Maybe this is just a coincidence, but I don't think so.
Remove but.
Even the man at the store has hired to watch the shoplifters is staying away. We know which one he is. He's looking at the olives. He has his hands in his pockets. Takes one to know one. In a larger town, he would be of some race. But remember where we are.
Remove but.
They keep asking themselves the same question, and the answer always comes back the same. Home is home, love is love. I